Kia ora, g'day, welcome back once again, here with part 11 of my reaction to this interview. Two Worlds Collide podcast, host Sam Bamford with his guest Scott Jones.
They catch him in the field, a known suicide bomber, that they're there under 429 Alpha to kill, capture, the role of the infantry. It says kill first because it's easier to kill a suicide bomber than it is to catch a suicide bomber. Go and catch me a suicide bomber. That's why the word kill comes first in the role of the infantry for everyone and under RE 429 Alpha. It's a kill capture mission because it's easy.
Just let that sink in for people. So the Oliver Schultz footage that is shown, he was the first person to be arrested from what I understand, charged and arrested. He will hopefully have his day in court next year from what I understand. When next year, I don't know, so don't quote me on it. And it'll be interesting to see. We don't hear a lot about that in terms of any build-up and that sort of thing, which I guess is understandable from a legal perspective. Not that I'm a lawyer, but I'm looking forward to that one rolling around and seeing what the results are of that with everything that's happening. From the bits and pieces that I've heard, people that are closer to that case have shared and expressed their thoughts and opinions, which is really all they are, that they believe that Oliver Schultz will get off with regards to the whole mission set, the briefing, the ROEs that they were working under, the situation with that particular person who they were chasing and capturing, which Scott Jones is just touching on briefly there with regards to what happened and where they were called into and how things unfolded there. So again, we'll see what happens with Ben Roberts-Smith, but they've obviously shifted their conversation and moving into some of the stuff talking about Oliver Schultz now.
Easier to kill a suicide bomber that you're told to go and get. I'm not going to capture the suicide bomber. How am I going to do that? I'm going to die. I'll catch his body parts when he blows up and I can try and catch a limb from a tree or something. Like, really? You know, and
or collect those body parts. If you haven't seen one of the lads on Instagram posting up some of the images purely for educational purposes, one of the lads that was part of the Kiwi SAS and on their job at the Intercontinental at Kabul, I think it was 2011. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. But go and check out his stuff there. I'll look to put a link to that in the description or maybe have something pop up on the screen at this time when I get to talking about this. But definitely when he's speaking about body parts, if you see some of the posts and if you click on to view the images and stuff that are posted up there by one of the lads, you'll see what Scott Jones is talking about when it comes to body parts. And you'll see what Jamie Pinnell was talking about when he's given multiple interviews in regards to that particular event and incident that they were a part of.
And people don't understand that. So whatever happens in trial happens, but a lot's come out in pre-trial to suggest that this individual, it was perfectly legal to do what the team did. And that's why it was reported that way at the time. And the video came out years later, allegedly, because a fallen soldier had all these videos on his laptop and a SIG was asked to clear his laptop. The SIG was told, hey, bro, this dude has just been killed in action. We've got to send his laptop in his coffin back to his wife. Make sure there's nothing, bad on it. Do a quick cleanup, right? If it was my laptop, there might be some tranny porn or some midgets fucking doing some unspeakable things. But this dude was a hitter, and I'm sure he just had like workout videos or whatever.
Yeah.
But he had all the, allegedly, this is what I heard, he had all the footage from all the different patrols, and the SIG, instead of wiping the laptop, plugged his hard drive in, pulled all those files off, and gave it to a journalist. So you're wondering why?
Wow. Didn't know that. I didn't remember that part of this because, like I said, I've done a reaction to this, which was done live, but it got blocked by YouTube. So hence why I've been going through and doing a reaction again. But obviously, because I do reactions to a whole bunch of other stuff in between, I'm not going to remember everything that I've watched in this video, even though I saw this, I think, I want to say several weeks, dare I say months ago now, when I first did a live reaction to it. But so one of the operators, don't know which one, has been KIA, I presume. Gear being sent back, his laptop being given to one of the SIGs to clean it up. One of the chooks has decided not to, has has done an Andrew Hasty, dare I say, looked at it, and instead of, if they've got questions going through the channels and the processes to look into it, by all means, look to, if you see and something looks, sounds and feels wrong, by all means look into it and follow it up and go through that process to try to get a result and or to get some answers with regards to what it is that you're seeing, but not pull a Andrew Hasty, which it sounds like allegedly this chook has done, and gone straight to the media. Has he been paid for it? Like, does that stuff get disclosed? Is that what has driven the person to do that, or have they been genuinely concerned about footage that they've seen? Don't know. We'd have to ask the chook. Maybe Hemorrhoid Head is one of the chooks. Maybe he's the chook that done this. Maybe he's one of the operators, the cowardly operators that he admits, that he asserts are not cowards. We'll get to his videos and stuff later on. But, his comments, where I'll do a video on it. But that's, disappointing on the part of whoever the SIG or the chook was that has done this, downloaded it and then given it straight to the media. I wouldn't really have a concern if the chook has seen something that looks off and then has downloaded it to then escalate through the chain of command and go, hey, look, I think there's something wrong here, or I think that this stuff doesn't look quite right. Can you have a look at it, boss, whoever his boss is? What do you think? And then through those channels, escalate it and then go through that way. That's what is disappointing to me from that aspect in terms of what has this guy done? Downloaded it, gone and just given it to the media without knowing what the context of those tasks or jobs or those contacts were. That's a big call. Has he been paid for that information? Probably not going to get that information, seeing as they tried to hide the hush money payment, so they can probably easily hide any payments that they make to people giving them information. And what was the intent of that chook? Like, you didn't have the context, you weren't there on the ground on those particular events or incidents that took place, but you've gone and done that. Just, seems off. Anyway.
Why this footage is being shown on ABC News? Man, disgusting act.
But it was of a dude that was a known suicide bomber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
the context wasn't really there with that one, and a lot more will come out.
Yeah, there we go. So what Scott Jones just said, the context isn't there, the background, whatever this chook has decided to do, Scott Jones has summed it up pretty nicely. Disgusting act. Like, that is a dog act. When you weren't there on the ground, when you don't know what's happened or what the context is, and you just see stuff and then you take it upon yourself to act in the public interest. Sure, you didn't get a backhand of some payment with regards to that, whoever this cowardly chook was as well. Just, you can see how, imagine if it was you as an individual or me or somebody that you know close to you has been involved in something that we don't have the context on. We're just going off what we initially see in a short piece of footage, and then we go and download that and then just broadcast it everywhere on your social medias or whatever. And then put your own narrative in terms of what it is that you're seeing, why you think this is wrong, when you don't have any of the other context and the fact that you weren't there on the ground. It's you can't tell me that doesn't corrupt the information or biased, create a narrative that the media once put out there and create a massive bias in amongst people that will be viewing it for the first time, again, without the context. The context that they get is the narrative voiceover that's given to it by the mainstream media. But Hemorrhoid Head can't get that through his blank and stupid skull, probably because of all the hemorrhoids that he's got there blocking his brain.
And I don't want to jeopardize anything, because personally, I honestly believe he will be found not guilty and acquitted, knowing what I know and what I've seen, and what all the boys talk about. But that.
So again, as I mentioned earlier, I have heard similar talk to what Scott Jones has mentioned, and I probably would have heard it from the first time when I did a live reaction to this as well. So, but time will tell. We'll see what happens.
That video obviously looks brutal. That's unfortunately war. And there was 12,000 of those situations. We allegedly killed 12,000 Taliban fighters during that war.
Great. Good. 12,000 dead Taliban. You're not going to hear me complaining about it. Hemorrhoid Head might, though.
And if you like eating sausages, don't watch them get made. It's not pretty. You want to send us to war? That's what war looks like. And you'll have a veteran in the comments section saying, I'm a veteran and I'm disgusted by seeing that. You're a veteran of what, champion? Dubai? You're on a ship? You were back in Australia? You're a photographer? What were you? Weigh in. If you've got some fucking shit to say and you understand what's going on. But if you don't understand what's going on, shut the fuck up.
What a great summary. Everybody could take a lesson from that. Mind you, a lot of people probably won't. Some few people that have been frothing, waiting for this blinking video upload to come out. In particular, there'll probably be some in there. But those, and Scott Jones has made a really good point earlier in this reaction, talking about respect to anybody that served, right? Veteran, whether you were the blinking bugle boy or whatever, whether you were a cook or whether you were admin logistics, whatever. Lincoln respect, awesome. You served. Thank you for your service, etc., etc. But there is a difference, hence why there are different groups within the military in terms of fulfilling very specific roles and doing specific roles. And people that go in to be a tradesperson, nothing wrong with that. People that go into the military to be a cook, people that go in to join to do admin, to be a driver, to do logistics, to count blankets, whatever, to be physical training instructors, and or to serve in a combat role, they are uniquely different. And the contexts of those are different. And the orders that you receive, the training that you conduct, the ROEs that you receive, clearly, they received a very different set of ROEs. I never worked under a 429 Alpha during my time in Iraq or anything like that, and definitely not during our time in East Timor. But a different war, different type of circumstances and situation in which they were confronted with as well, and which they were being asked and told to go and deal with. So there needed to be some adjustments to the ROE to enable the operators going out on the ground in the combat roles to be able to fulfill and do their jobs appropriately. Or to meet the type of violence and evil with a level that will hopefully deter and or put an end to certain players that whose names have ended up on the target list. So yeah, I could bang on about that for ages. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that another time.
Well said.
Respectfully.
Of course, respectfully. Shut the fuck up. No, but it's just so true. So true. And I was out over the weekend, a lot of people pulled me up over this. Oh yeah, but he did X, Y, and Z. It's like, well, you're just listening to the mainstream media. Like behind every mainstream media, there's a dude with a puppet fixing the script, telling them what they want you to hear.
Yeah.
It's
100% how people, I don't care who you are, how people can't and don't see through that. And people want to resort to or go to the defamation case, which RS raised and he lost. And they go, yeah, but he lost the defamation case. And that doesn't mean that he's guilty. It means on the balance of probabilities, and I'm no judge or lawyer, he lost that case and that he wasn't defamed. Criminal court, criminal law, and all that sort of stuff, you can't tell me that there isn't conflicting witness testimony, because there is. And the time factor that's elapsed, the lack of forensic evidence that they just don't have access to, that they don't have, unless they've got actual clear-cut video footage of the 5 of 1. They don't even have to have clear-cut footage of 5 of the alleged counts of war crime murder which RS has been charged with. Even if they've got footage of 1 of those accounts of war crimes, RS will be toast. That's what I think, he'll end up in jail as a result of it if they've got video footage of it. I don't know that they have. It just seems like they've got a whole bunch of conflicting testimonies, people saying one thing on this side against RS, and people who are also on the ground for RS saying that just didn't happen. Then you've got the OSI who don't have any forensic evidence. So anyway.
Like when you get someone like yourself on, it's like, well, the first incident, I mean, that sounds absolutely false. The second incident seems to be like a dude with one eye looking from 300 meters away that's old as hell, saying he did this and he did that. But in reality, they've been told that they're going to be given maybe a cushy life in Australia if they say X, Y, and Z at this trial. And there's some certain news outlet out there which facilitated the whole process.
Yeah. Yep. And then a few jaded operators mixed in there that got removed from their dream job and put somewhere else, and you've got yourself a war crimes trial. Pretty crazy.
Good luck proving that beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
So,
about the Burton inquiries? Can we talk about that?
like the report?
Yeah, or like Burton himself.
Oh, well, I can't.
Oh, you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a great honourable.
Okay, so that again, I'd forgotten about that as well. Now that he's said that, saying that he can't, I do remember him saying that he couldn't. Now that I watch this again, but that's interesting. So when people have been in the peanut gallery in the comment section and have said, well, why aren't more of the operators coming out in defence of RS? I assume, as I've said, I think, man, I've lost count of how many reaction videos I've done, and I know I've said it throughout my reactions of this 10, now 11 part reaction series to this interview, that the things that come to mind in terms of why I think, it's just my opinion, why I think operators that would have been in at the same time and that would have been on the ground aren't saying anything, is because I think they've probably had to sign, I think Scott Jones said at the start of this interview, a deeds of service or whatever. Essentially, it sounds like an NDA or a non-disclosure agreement whereby they are limited to and or can't talk about specific things and or potentially can't talk about specific people. So there's that, and or, so that's probably the main reason, or the first reason that I think anyway. And the second reason is, or maybe there's three. Second reason is maybe there are people that just didn't witness anything, weren't there, maybe heard rumors, but unlike Andrew Hastie, didn't decide to take those rumors to the media and talk to them. They just stayed out of it and thought, well, let the process run its course, So there's probably that group. And then there's probably people that are just too piss weak and cowardly to come out and say anything. They don't even want to show their face. Actually, that's not fair. There's a couple of people, Dusty Miller, the medic, and I forget the SIG's name, one of the Chooks' names. Maybe that was the Chook that downloaded the stuff. Maybe that's who it was. The guy with the dark hair. I've done a reaction to him before too. Maybe he's the Chook that Scott Jones is talking about, allegedly. Got told to clean up a laptop, but downloaded and pulled information and then passed that to the media. Maybe. Oh, actually, as I think about that now, apologies for rambling, but as I think about that reaction now, it doesn't sound like, well, he didn't mention anything like that in the reaction video that I remember doing. I remember him talking about him being out on the ground. Again, he didn't witness any executions, but he got the feeling that some people had been executed, and that the way he was spoken to by some of the badged operators made him, I guess, feel a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, so maybe it's not him, but who knows?
Man, yeah, Supreme Judge, and he was served for over 35 years. He didn't get the chance to go to Afghanistan.
I heard he's a woke dork. That's what I've heard. Just to give it a bit of a dexterity to all my followers out there, I heard he's a woke dork.
Mate, if you're an officer and you had 20 years of a deployment and you served over that whole period and you didn't get a chance to go over, unlucky, Brereton. I'm sure you're flat out and you didn't get a chance to deploy.
It's not that he, and I hear what Scott Jones is saying, it's not that he didn't get a chance to deploy, it's that he didn't want to. Blinken. I mean, the lads wouldn't want him there anyway. What good is he? What is he going to do? Sit back in a Blinken forward operating base and do nothing, drink coffee, Blinken, telling war stories, call his family back home and tell them how stressful and how hard the work is, sitting in his air-conditioned office doing truck all.
But he was also told to do the Brereton inquiries by Angus Campbell.
Yeah,
who is another high-ranking officer. But when Brereton did the investigation, he didn't investigate anyone on the top rank, did he?
No.
He said that was to be unrequired.
Anyone above the rank of captain wasn't aware of anything going on outside the wire, allegedly.
Wow. Anyone above the rank of captain wasn't aware of anything going on outside the wire. That's a pretty piss poor indictment on the majors, who are the squadron commanders. It's a poor reflection of the RSM, of the commanding officer, of whoever the higher ups are above captain, which is major and up, who basically, from what Brereton is saying, and Anus Campbell have no trucking idea of what's happening down on the ground. What rank levels are at Special Operations Command? What rank levels are at that level of command? Because I can tell you now, it's not trooper and corporal running the show. So crack up, man. That's just, yeah, interesting, eh? How some people are just, what's the words I'm looking for? It seems like Brereton has been given a clear left and right of arc in terms of who can, could, should be included in the investigations of these allegations that are coming through, and who should not be included. Which, you know, I like to think people are smart enough to sort of piece things together for themselves, but, you know, there are some retards out there that do struggle with fairly simple concepts.
So he didn't need to do any investigation of those.
No. But they all got awards for being in action.
Yeah.
They all got a medal for being in action, although they weren't outside the wire and they didn't know what was going on.
They all gave themselves nice medals, nice cushy jobs afterwards whilst they were pegging each other.
Yeah.
And then putting any blame onto the soldiers on the ground and just washing their hands with it, right?
Yeah. In a
Bags
world
of shit.
But in the letters, in their defense, in the horrible allegations and the letters that they sent individuals, they put a number for open arms or lifeline at the bottom. So you're an absolute disgrace. You've disgraced your country, your unit, and your fellow soldiers. But call this number if you're thinking about killing yourself.
Call this number whilst your phone is tapped.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to the OSI.
You know, there's going to be a day, right, where the pendulum comes swinging down. Not making any threats. I'm not doing that. This is just speaking my you know, openly. I don't want to threaten anyone or don't think violence is going to happen, but you know, in the context of the situation, the pendulum's going to come swinging down on these people. And after a lot of people.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a respect. I hear what Sam Bamford's saying. Not looking to threaten anyone. Pendulum will come swinging down. You can't control what other people do and how other people take and or are potentially impacted by stuff that they've been accused of and or potentially wrongly accused of, you know, with regards to what we've seen and or heard so far. You can't help but feel like there's been a whole bunch of wrongful allegations, soldiers who have tragically taken and committed suicide potentially over some of those allegations, relationships and marriages that have been disintegrated again because of some of those allegations, and people still right now, I suppose, I want to say feeling the heat, I guess, in terms of investigations that are still ongoing for them. You know, I don't know what the tipping point is for individuals. None of us do. But I wouldn't be surprised if people, you know, that have been in this process, in this, dare I say, pressure cooker for such a long period of time now, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody snapped, if something happened at some point. I hope nothing like that does, but I can't say personally that I'd be shocked or that I'd be surprised if somebody did do something, you know, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
Get found not guilty in the current cases coming up, we're going to look to somewhere different, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to maybe look a bit higher.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, so all the evidence up there, right up the top. Yep. No one wanted to talk about that. No one wanted to talk about the big dogs at the top.
Yeah. And all these officers, police officers that are seconded to the office of the special investigator raiding our houses, they're going to have a reckoning with themselves maybe on Anzac Day at 5 a.m. when they're getting ready to go and think about all the brave diggers that died in the wars. And maybe they'll look in the...
Well, those ones probably don't attend Anzac Day in the first place. I'd be surprised if they did. And if they did attend, it's probably because was made a mandatory place of parade or something. And even then, they'd probably try to squirm and weasel their way out of it by saying that they're sick or something. But also, at the same time, the other thought is those same rodents that have treated the diggers, the soldiers so poorly, and the way in which at least has been described anyway, they probably would be quite happy being two-faced and attending a dawn service or Anzac Day, Memorial Day, whatever service they want to attend, and falsely pretend to be grateful for the sacrifices that have been made by those that have gone on before and those that are currently serving. It probably just doesn't even enter into their mind that what they're doing and what they've done has been disgraceful.
Mirror while they're getting ready and have a think about what they've done and the legacy that they're helping provide the war fighters of our generation by raiding their house, intimidating their families, putting listening devices on phones and in cars and hotel rooms. And have a good hard look at yourself. Maybe don't wake up at 5 a.m. just to have a good hard look at yourself, then go back to bed. Yeah.
We don't want your honor.
Nah.
We don't want your pity.
Nah.
You don't deserve to be standing in the places that actual men stood for. That were supposed to stand. They were supposed to be at Anzac Day, but they died. That's right.
There's like 15 people just got gunned down on one of my favorite beaches where I spend a lot of my time. And do you think the 100, 200 odd officers raiding our houses and looking at us for war crimes would maybe better used looking into these people that have slipped through the cracks, that were on watch lists, that were being...
You could also do this, say the same thing about the higher-ups with regards to the Bondi tragedy and terror attacks that happened there, which Scott Jones is alluding to and talking about, and the use of resources there to look into that. You could do a similar thing. Those higher-ups within ASIO, within the Federal Police, who are the higher-ups that made the calls based on what the ASIO spy, Marcus, was talking about, that made the call to remove senior investigators or people that had been on the case for a while and replace them with junior officers on there? Like, there just seems to be almost a similar sort of leadership deficiencies with regards to the AFP or that ASIO section or department, whatever they want to call themselves, that was overseeing and or supposed to be overseeing and looking into this father and son who were on the watch list, who did have their requests for weapons licenses refused and then magically were given to them, and then they fell off the watch list, and then the massacre took place and happened. It's nuts. There's gaps in there. And again, like in the military side of things, which these guys are talking about, the higher-ups, there's also gaps here from this terror attack that's taken place. And holy heck, that's 30 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this one up here and get into some more videos. I'll come back to this one. I should have this one finished off. Yeah, it's 10 minutes left. I should be able to get that one finished off in what will be part 12. So anyway, if you stuck around this long, thank you very much for your time. Old hemorrhoid head, hammerhead 27, dummy head 27. No doubt you are here, bruz. I'm going to do a live, especially for you. You're invited. You seem like somebody who's very brave and confident in the comments section, but have no bolos about you to come and jump on a video and to debate, to get your point across. You've got a law degree, apparently. You're a law qualified. You didn't say that you were serving as a lawyer. You've entered the chat in a live, but you enter the chat in the comments on other videos. But I just can't help but think that the reason that you won't show up on a video and have a discussion, get your point across, you can have the majority of the time, you can raise up all your points. We'll do it live stream so that I can't edit anything out. It can be live so that when you get me stuck as a deer in the headlights, people can see it's like, oh, look, he's managed to stump him. But I don't think you will. Well, you won't. Because you're either one of the cowards, one of the retarded cowards that got the boot from 2 Squadron. Okay, so you're too trucking useless to even show your face to mainstream media, let alone come on a YouTube live video stream with me to try to get your points across. And or 2, you are somehow the boyfriend of one of those retarded cowards, a family member or a boyfriend, or maybe they're all your boyfriend. And so you feel and have taken it upon yourself to defend their honor by calling them non-cowards. I'm definitely going to bring up your comments. Hopefully you've left them there so that I can do another video specifically to it and for you. And then I'd love to hear see what you have to say. It'd be some retarded comment that you'll have in there. But the good thing about it is that people like you are great for content. I think I'm going to encourage you genuinely. I think you should do a YouTube channel. Like, there's going to be people Like if you're not a coward, unless you just want to stay a keyboard coward, then that's up to you. But there's genuinely going to be people that agree with you, man. Like seriously, I have no doubt that there are and there will be people that agree with you. So why you don't start a YouTube channel? You're clearly frothing at the bit every time I put up a video. So why not delve into content creation? Make yours a faceless one if you still can't bring yourself to show your mug on the video camera. I'm just trying to give you some ideas. And I think also by you doing that, it would also continue to give me more content. So as good as the comments are, which I can use to make content, which I'll be doing, as I've mentioned, and which I've done, it's just, it'll be good to see your mug talking about and getting your point across. And who knows, maybe you might convince me of the things that you're presenting. I doubt it though. But anyway, I wish you luck with that. I hope you do start a channel, but you probably won't. But anyway, to those that, whether you agree with what I say or whether you don't, like, whack your thoughts in the comments. Feel free. If it leads to being able to provide an opportunity for me to create content from it, then that's what I'm going to do. And don't be surprised if you get your own special videos like Hemorrhoid Head does, because he's such a retarded twat and a coward that he's very brave in the comment section, but can do truck all else from wherever he is. Can't even sit in front of a camera and talk. Won't even jump on a video and do a live stream with me. But anyway, I must be too scary. Or maybe his law degree is a bit of a, what is it? Maybe he's doing one like what Scott Jones spoke about in the other reaction. Maybe he does wills or property law or contracts law. Because it clearly doesn't have anything to do with criminal law. And if he does, blank and egg. Please, people, don't hire anybody who goes by the handle Hemorrhoid Head, Hammerhead, or Blank and Dummy Head, because he's going to set you up to lose. Anyway, look after yourselves, people. You too, Hemorrhoid Head. And I look forward to reading your comments in the comment section when it's time, brus.